Okay, so when you think about the Norse gods, Thor, Odin, Loki, what's the first image that pops into your head? Probably these epic, majestic figures, right? Carved out of stone and nobility. Well, what if I told you the original stories paint a very different and, frankly, a much more entertaining picture?
Yeah, we've all been handed this very specific image of these stoic, honorable gods. The brave protectors of mankind, the all-wise kings, the tragic heroes. It's the version you see in those grand old paintings. And hey, it's noble, it's inspiring, but it's also kind of sanitized, you know? Because what the original sagas tell us is something way more fun. This quote right here, it just nails it. These gods weren't just icons. They were characters. Characters who were chaotic, competitive, petty, and, yeah, sometimes completely unbelievable. They were messy.
So that's the big question we're going to dive into. We are peeling back all those layers of epic legend to get to the messy, hilarious, and, you won't believe it, the surprisingly relatable truth about the Norse pantheon.
And where else could we possibly start but with the god of thunder himself? Let's take a proper look at Thor, a guy who is so much more than just a hero with a hammer.
So on the one hand, yeah, absolutely, he was the great protector of mankind. We all know that part. But on the other hand, he had this little habit of, let's say, overdoing things. His main strategy for solving any problem usually involved creating an even bigger one.
I mean, this was his go-to move. If something's broken, hit it with a hammer. If someone disagrees with you, hit them with a hammer. If a giant so much as looks at you funny, you get the picture. He wasn't exactly a surgeon with his solutions. He was more like a divine sledgehammer, turning a minor disagreement into a full-on cosmic throwdown.
Which leads to this fantastic question, doesn't it? Was his massive popularity really born out of pure respect for his power? Or was it just a very smart way to stay on the good side of a god with a notoriously short fuse? Definitely something to think about.
All right, moving on to probably the most complicated, most debated character on the whole roster, Loki. And listen, he wasn't just a villain or a trickster. He was the engine that made the entire mythology run. Honestly, the best way to describe Loki isn't evil. It's creative chaos. He's that force that just has to shake things up, the one who breaks the rules just to see what happens. He is the personification of a giant cosmic wrench in the works.
And you could pretty much set your watch to his antics. It was a cycle. Step 1, cause some catastrophic world-ending problem that puts all of Asgard in jeopardy. Step 2, somehow be the only person who can fix it. Step 3, maybe save him again just for good measure. And the final, most crucial step, take a bow and act like that was his genius plan all along. Classic Loki.
So, what do you think? Was there some grand master plan going on that we just can't see? Or was he just the world's best improviser who happened to be incredibly good at talking his way out of trouble he himself started? The debate is still very much alive.
Next up, we have a goddess who is, and I'm serious, criminally underrated in pop culture today, Freya. She was so much more than what she gets credit for.
We always hear goddess of love, and our brains automatically picture someone, passive and gentle. But the reality? Oh, the reality was completely different. Freya was an absolute powerhouse, a fierce warrior, a brilliant strategist, and a magician of the highest caliber.
I mean, just look at this skill set. She was a master of Seidr, which is a type of magic so potent and so intimidating that even Odin himself, the All-Father, was wary of it. And maybe most importantly, Freya knew her own value, and she was never ever afraid to use that leverage to get what she wanted.
And this is what makes her so interesting. Was her famous beauty just another tool in her toolkit? A weapon, even? Or maybe it was a misdirection, a clever way to make her enemies underestimate her right before she completely outplayed them. If you think about it, it's a brilliant strategy.
Okay, let's head to the top of the cosmic corporate ladder. Odin, the All-Father. His defining characteristic wasn't just his wisdom, but the absolutely relentless, you could even say obsessive, way he went after it.
And would you just look at the price he was willing to pay? To get more knowledge, he literally sacrificed one of his eyes. He wandered the realms for ages. He basically gave up anything resembling a normal social life. This was not a hobby for him. It was an all-consuming compulsion.
This just sums him up perfectly. Odin's journey to enlightenment was never, ever the easy route. He always chose the most dramatic, most difficult, most painful way possible. It's like he believed the struggle itself was half the price.
So you really have to ask, do we chalk up all his success to pure brilliance? Or was it just a level of stubbornness so profound it could literally bend reality to his will? You know, maybe it was a little bit of both.
So, we've gone through all the chaos, the ego, the high drama, but why does any of this matter? Why have these particular stories stuck around for so long?
Well, it all comes down to this idea: relatable deities. The ancient Norse people didn't create these perfect, untouchable gods on pedestals. They created beings who felt real, because they were just as flawed, just as passionate, and just as unpredictable as the people telling their stories.
And that's the secret right there. We don't remember them despite their flaws. We remember them because of their flaws. Thor's temper, Loki's scheming, Odin's obsession, that's the good stuff. That's what makes them stick in your brain.
Ultimately, that's what it is. They weren't just these boring, abstract symbols for thunder or wisdom. They were characters. They were the main characters in these incredible, wild stories. And a good story will always outlast a stone monument.
Which brings me to this final hilarious thought to leave you with. If this chaotic family existed right here, right now, would we see them as heroes to be worshipped? Or would they be the ultimate reality TV stars, flooding our social media feeds with their feuds, their schemes, and their unbelievably dramatic live streams? I think you know the answer. I'll let you be the judge.